Good morning. Oh man, you can tell it's Monday, huh? Good morning. Thank you. Just like to make sure that we have live humans out there. It's not just an illusion. We welcome you to chapel this morning and to listen to the story of Corey. I did not mean to rhyme that. It just came out. Sorry about that. And I'd like to take a few moments to remind you of some of the activities coming this week, sponsored through the chapel office. Friday's chapel speaker will be Reverend Moore, and then next Monday, Brittany Colosimo. And this Wednesday, there is a special event here in the chapel that we've been trying to do once a month for you students and whoever's on campus, actually. Starting at 8 o'clock, it's a come and go thing. Come in for a few minutes, go when you need to. It's campus prayer night. This Wednesday, we'll be honoring college students as well as kind of preparing ourselves for Lent, which is coming up very quickly. And for those of you who don't know, today is actually International College Student Prayer Day. So say a prayer for yourselves and for every other college student around the world. Some are going to school in much more bitter circumstances than weather. So think of that. Next weekend is the 30-hour famine. If that's something that you think you might want to take part in as an experience and a journey, please stop by the chapel office and we'll put you in touch with some folks. It'll be from Friday through Saturday evening. Also, coming up in April, I know that sounds maybe a little far away, but with the way our schedule goes, that'll be here as soon as you blink 3 times. April 5th, it's a Saturday from noon to 5, and I think that the Westminster time, if I'm not mistaken, is 2 to 3 in the afternoon. There is a bowl for kids' sake to support big brothers and big sisters in Newcastle, and it's at Colonial Lanes just down the road by the Giant Eagle on Wilmington Road. There's a registration fee, but 6 folks can get together and do a lot of good and have a great time. So if you and your friends want to do that, please also let us know. Next Sunday's Vesper speaker will be B.J. Woodworth, who's a Westminster alum. We had to reschedule this due to weather. Hope that you all come out. He is a pastor in Pittsburgh and runs a discipleship program for young people trying to figure out how to incorporate their love of God with their love of life. So he'll be pretty good. And then next Thursday, bring your friends right here in the chapel at 7:30. Former Pittsburgh Steeler and KDKA color commentator Edmund Nelson will be here as a speaker, and that's at 7:30. He's going to speak a little bit and get kind of interviewed by some of our students who are broadcast communication majors, so it'll be a little more of a open exchange and hear some of his stories, which ought to be fine and fun. Newman Club, Seekers, and FCA all meet at their regular times this week, so please join them. I'd also like to invite up Mindy Spiker, is that right? Oh, good, I said it right. Who is with the National Ministry in the National Parks, Campus Ministry in the National Parks organization, to let you know why she's on campus and a little bit about what she's up to.
I don't want to take much of your time. I know you've heard a lot of announcements today, but I did want to tell you about a Christian ministry in the national parks. How many of you have been to a park in the U.S.? Yellowstone, Yosemite, there are a few around here, Acadia, and then down in the Appalachians. Well, there are about 61 million people that visit national parks every year. A lot of internationals, a lot of people in the U.S. There are about 28,000 National Park Service workers in the United States and about 12,000 students, young people about our age, that serve in the concessionaire companies in the parks. And there isn't a local church. A lot of these parks are miles and miles or hours away from a community, and yet people visit every summer. So ACMP sends out teams from Denver. It's mostly undergrads and graduate students in teams of 5 or 6 to live in the parks for 3 months. So we'll send you to one location. I did it a year in Yellowstone, and I stayed there for 3 months. I got a job in the concessionaires, ministered relationally to the people I was working with. I lived alongside them, ate with them, hiked with them, camped. Lots of fun in the parks. And then also we lead worship services. So there are amphitheaters in the parks, there are lodges, and ACNP rents out the area for services. And then we hold interdenominational Christian worship services. So there's musical worship and preaching, and it's a chance for students to take a little bit of initiative and develop as a leader in the church, to plant something, and to watch it really grow over the summer. So it's an incredible opportunity. It's very different from college. I did it twice during college, and it was the biggest seasons of growth in my 4 years, and absolutely love it. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, I'll be over in the campus center for another couple of hours. I would love to talk with any of you that are interested. If you think you might want to work in the parks, get a summer job there and do ministry, please come talk to me. It's a great opportunity.
Thank you. And if you're not able to meet with Mindy today, Reverend Moore's daughters, both of them, have done that ministry, as well as some other Westminster students, and he would probably be happy to help you work through that. Before we begin, let us pray. Expand our limited vision, Lord, that today we might see the holy as we have never seen holiness before. That today we might feel the presence as we have not felt the Spirit before. That today we might be conformed to your will as we have never committed ourselves before. In the name of Jesus, who stayed on the cross to the very end. Amen.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron Vanatter, and I've been given the honor to introduce one of my good friends here at Westminster, Chapel Pelkofer. Corey's a senior accounting major who's also participated in groups such as Enactus, CPC, IFC, SGA, as well as Sigma Nu Epsilon Psi at Westminster College. Corey has touched many of your lives as well as my own over his past 4 years at Westminster College. I first encountered Corey in a sort of, I want to say it was a mock Facebook or MySpace kind of page that Westminster had introduced the incoming freshmen to. Most of the seniors here probably know what I'm referring to. Corey and I have developed a strong relationship over our past 4 years here at Westminster College by playing football together, living together in the annex of Sigma Nu, and as well as visiting each other's homes and meeting our families. Our list could go on and on. Corey and I have traveled some very familiar paths in our lives up to this point. These paths were not always clear or straight at times. And we've had many rough patches with twists and turns, but we eventually got through them. We were able to get through these by using little bits of perseverance and by having a partner to lay your arm upon whenever you couldn't take the pain anymore. This had allowed us to form such a solid foundation for our friendship from not only now but for many years to come. And for that, I'd like to thank Corey and let him know that I'm grateful for everything that he's done and for being such a great friend to me during our years here. And I'd like to wish you the best in your future endeavors, and may your life be filled with love, honor, and truth.
When I thought about what I was going to talk about today, I had no idea what I was going to do. And then up until 2 weeks ago, when I started talking to my good friends and Reverend Moore, the same two words kept coming to me: perseverance and learning. Those are the two words I want to concentrate on speaking about today. I strongly believe that how we endure situations defines who we are. It builds our character, will, and personality in a way that sometimes we do not even notice. God does not put us through anything we cannot handle. And I know people say that all the time, and trust me, there were many times where I just said, "Why, God? Why is this happening to me?" Those would be the two questions I used to ask him a lot. The only way I can explain it to myself is just simply having faith. If we seek help, there will be guidance through the tough situations. Being able to persevere through a horrible experience shows a lot of strength in a person. I feel that being able to persevere is one of the strongest qualities I have while you go through life. It empowers us to have the mental toughness that fights through the darkness. It helps ease our minds so we are not stuck in a hole where you feel constantly trapped. This past summer is when I started to feel like I was falling into my own hole. I was losing my edge of seeing the bright side of things. I started not to be able to shake things off like I was once able to do. I started to assume when I wake up today, something's going to happen again, and again, and again. I thought maybe I was just waking up on the wrong side of the bed every morning, going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't really used to that. I did not realize all this was really affecting me until I went to the doctor for my blood pressure being extremely high for the past couple weeks. I thought maybe I was having hypertension with my family having that in the past. My family doctor told me that I've gone through more in 22 years than an average middle-aged man, and that really hit me hard. I've been able to get through it by finding ways of self-medicating myself. Therefore, the problem was not hypertension, but I was having anxiety. He suggested I get a prescription for a couple months. This is the first time I ever experienced anything with mental health issues before. The reason I wanted to share this story is because this is the time I realized I was not medicating myself, but it was my support system that got me through everything. My family, my friends, and the power of prayer. To me, those are the three things that were my medication, so I decided not to take Zoloft. And the reason why I still keep this to this day is because I got this 2 days before football camp, and I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to go to practice. And then I started hanging out with my friends, seeing all the coaches again. Everyone's just lifting me up, and they had no idea what was going on with me. So I decided after taking it for 2 days that I wasn't going to let it get in my system, and I was just going to continue using my support system. And the first part of that is my family. It's not very big, but we are very close. It's reassuring that no matter what happens, your family will always be there to hold you up. My grandfather and my mother have never once left my side. They're always proud of me when they see me achieve various accomplishments in my endeavors the past 4 years, my whole entire life. My grandfather is who I look to as my role model. He gives me the drive of wanting to be successful. He helps me figure out my dream career path and long-term goals. I look to my mom as the person that shows me how to fight through the tough times. It's gratifying to have a mother you consider your hero. She is truly a blessing for raising and taking care of 3 brothers and me. I like to think that she raised a pretty good young man. Then there are my friends who are very important to me as well. My friends help me out more than they know. They're the ones that get my mind off of things and just let me laugh and have a good time together. It is a great stress reliever to set things aside and just have fun with the guys. Playing football, video games, talking about girls, whole 9 yards. I can depend on them to be there for me when I feel down. I'm able to go to them and just talk about things that are going on at the time. It has really helped me out over the years, and I wouldn't trade my time with them for anything else. Last but the most important is the power of prayer. To me, talking to God eases my mind. Allows me to see things in a new perspective that I wasn't able to do before. It helps organize my thoughts and have a better understanding of any situation. Everyone has their own ways of dealing with stress or anything in general. This is what helps me cope with anything that I've been able to encounter. If it was not for one of those 3, there's no reason where I'd be able to stand here and talk to you today. But now at this time, I'd like to invite Corey Gribben up to talk about a few words.
Hi, everybody. It's definitely my pleasure to stand up here today, be a part of Corey's Chapel, and talking to him a little bit, about what he was speaking about today. I thought it would be, a good chance for me to read one of my favorite verses, and a verse that I felt kind of mirrors some of the things that he's been through in this 4 years here and throughout his life. So this is Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." It's been a pleasure in my time here to watch Corey live out these words, that are here in this verse, and to watch his growth and his continued drive through some of his difficult times and his trials here at Westminster. By allowing God to use Corey, to use him, he's inspired, many of his friends, many of the people sitting in this room, and, that's why we all came out to support him today. So thank you, Corey. We appreciate you for that.
The next thing I wanted to talk about is learning, and that could be the toughest thing for anybody to talk about. It makes you think about things that you never wanted to think about again, things you never want to go through ever again, because you already went through it. Why would I want to go through it again? But I never once regret going through any experience that I had in my life, because that is what makes you who you are. There's all the good times, bad times, ups and the downs that enable you to learn something new each and every time. I feel like there is more to learn when something does not go my way. It's a true testament of character for someone to stay persistent through any tough time. It is sometimes difficult for a person to see how they are getting anything out of a tough situation by going back in a hole. And trust me, I've seen that before personally with my brother. So that is the reason why I wanted to keep learning from my past experiences, and hopefully other members of my family see that and they can look at me as a role model of doing the right thing. A horrible situation I learned about in my 4 years in college is when my wonderful friend Tim McNerney passed away last October. It was never something I was expecting to experience in this time of my life. I mean, we're supposed to have the best times of our lives right now, 4 years of college. I couldn't believe it so much that I didn't believe when the first people called me to let me know what happened. My brother, my mom, my cousin. I just wouldn't believe it. So I ended up still going to class 10 minutes later after I got the first phone call, because I thought it would just be someone else. There's no way. Once it finally sunk in that he is no longer on this earth with the rest of us, I just left class and I collapsed. I was so torn up inside and did not know what to do. And it felt like the world was just spinning. It was an experience that had me ask those two questions to God again. Why me? Why is this happening? Why did it have to be him? What really hit home for a while is the fact that he was really gone. I felt like he was just a phone call away. But when I called him, no one was answering on their side of the line. He taught me a lot while we were growing up and helped me learn even more when he passed. Besides the fact that he was a great football player, he was always himself. Didn't care what anybody thought about him. He was always an original individual. You either liked him or not, but always was true to what he believed in. And he was more loved than anything. His favorite quote was, "Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today," by James Dean. I felt like that was a perfect quote fitting for this situation. He should have never died that night from violence. And it was really tough for all of us not to think about getting revenge. But why would you want revenge from violence to give more violence? Just the thought about it makes you think that the person that would actually want to pursue that has no respect for humanity. He was in his last season of football on the brink of breaking records once again like he did in high school. He only had 6 months until he graduated. He wanted to be a good business professional. He was studying business administration, and I always made fun of him all the time because I think accounting is a little bit harder. It made me realize how precious every day here matters to me. We need to cherish each and every moment we have with people in our lives. Try the best you can to not hold grudges on anyone. Try to forgive and forget more often than not. It is something I've been trying to do this past year, but it's easier said than done. You just never know when and why it could all just end for you. I know I want to make sure I can say I really took advantage of my time here. I've realized that my dreams are not dreams, but they are my determined goals. They are going to be my future accomplishments someday, and I hope it allows me to make a positive impact somewhere. Wherever that place may be, I hope it allows me opportunities to make a difference. Difference for others, difference for myself. I'll make sure that I become a respected professional, husband, and father someday. But I just want to worry about today. And today, I'm very blessed to be where I am at right now. Couldn't ask for better people in my life. There's definitely a reason why I came to Westminster in a little Amish town compared to Penn State. I'm very close in receiving a college degree while playing a sport I love. And I never would have thought when I was a little kid that I was going to be coming to school and studying accounting. Never took a class in my life. I thought I was going to be a construction worker, being a big burly man. That's not what happened. I'm prepared to overcome more obstacles that will be placed in my way. At the same time, I'm very excited to experience all the joys life has to offer. When I stop and think about everything that is going on, it makes me very thankful for what I have. I hope others around me are as focused to stay persistent as we move on from the community of Westminster. We can accomplish anything that we set our eyes on. It will require us to continue learning as we move forward. When I talk about learning, I'm not talking about from a textbook or a lecture, but from our experiences and interactions with others. As we move on, we will be required to have the ability to persevere through things we necessarily. As long as one can stay focused, you will reach your goals. You never know who is looking to you as an example on how to deal with certain matters. Do not let people see a person who struggles to triumph, but a person they look at as an individual making a name for themselves. But I also want to take the time to thank everyone for coming out today, and God bless.
Corey, perseverance is often paired with courage. Some of us need a little more courage to face every day. But to know that God is with you and to trust that He's with you makes you able to persevere and run the race that is set before you, that you don't know what the end will look like. Thanks for reminding us of that today. Hear these words as we go out. Believe the gospel of Jesus Christ. Pray for wisdom. Work diligently. Accept forgiveness. Seek goodness. Return good for evil. Exalt Christ. Risk everything. May God go with you today and this week. Amen.